The time is 7:30. I call the December 2nd meeting of Yardley Borough Council to order. Please stand for the pledge to our flag.
Flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please. Manager Johnson.
Ms. Thompson?
Present.
Ms. Scherer? Mr. Applebaum?
Present.
Mr. Stump?
Present.
Mr. Carlson?
Present.
Ms. Siegel-Morris?
Present.
Mr. Finer?
Present.
With 6 members in person and 1 remotely, we have a quorum. We will start with community announcements. This is the portion of the meeting where first at the table and then members of the public can share upcoming events happening in and around Yardley Borough or other community announcements. Any community announcements this evening?
Could you go first?
Yes, I'm sorry. I just remembered.
Councilperson Scherer, go for it.
I do have an announcement. Well, first of all, we have the parade on Saturday. And the following Saturday on the 13th, Friends of Lake Afton will be having a pop-up gift shop fundraiser at the Friends Meeting House this year from 12 to 5. And it's handicap accessible.
Excellent.
So it's, win-win.
Thank you. Councilperson Applebaum?
Hi, it's me, the traditional Yardley elf. I will be in the parade again this year, traveling in the antique Jeep, Army Jeep. But I do have some announcements. Number 1, as you know, the parade is this Saturday at 3 o'clock. What?
3:30.
3:30.
Someone moved it on me?
So there are multiple postings online, including from the YBA, that say 3 o'clock, and then there are also postings that say 3:30, and the banner
I
says
will
3:30. So we
come-
do need
I
confirmation
will
on
confirm that because I sat at a meeting and everyone said 3 o'clock, and that's what I assumed.
I can confirm, I talked to Jess about this, it's 3:30, and they, on some of the physical signs, they covered up the 3 o'clock and made it say 3:30. So they ordered the wrong
Okay.
date on the sign, simple mistake.
All right, thank you, and I'll try to help get that message out.
Better in that
real-
direction, though. People will just be
worldwide.
early.
Somewhere between 3 and 3:30, there will be a parade in town. And what I was going to say is that at the conclusion of the parade, there will be a tree lighting ceremony, as well as a little holiday, I don't know, winter wonderland with Santa, and the kids can go and tell Santa what they want for the holidays. And then I got a text from Shirley from the Gather Place. She says here that Saturday, December 13th, the Gather Place is having a Christmas open house from noon to 3 p.m. There'll be light refreshments. Families are invited. Children and adults meet and greet our elf and Santa's helpers. Children make easy crafts to take home, so please join them on the Saturday, December 13th at noon. One last thing is the following day after the parade, which is the 7th, the Yardley Rotary Club, which is a new Rotary Club in town, will be hosting Santa separately, but at the same location at the Pavilion, Buttonwood Park. So I'm trying to find the time though. And the time is, kick off the holiday season with Yardley Rotary Club, get a free picture of Santa, and join us for some hot chocolate. Consider bringing a non-perishable item to our food drive. Children and pets are welcome. And it is Sunday, December 7th, as I said, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Buttonwood Park Pavilion. Thank you. That is it.
Excellent. Well, it
Elf
seems like we
signing
could
off.
Fill our entire December with holiday activities.
But I have a question, Mayor.
Excellent.
Are you
Go ahead.
collecting food during the parade?
So yes, I believe I am. I need to confirm with the parade organizers that they'll allow me, but I believe I'll be at the front of the parade collecting food for the final year, yes.
I
And
think we can do that.
Pennsbury Community Band is having a winter/holiday concert on December 12th at Pennsbury High School East, and that starts at 8 o'clock.
Any Any other community announcements from up at the table first? All right, any upcoming events anyone would like to share from the public? Great. Hearing none, we'll close that portion of the meeting and move on to public comment. This is the portion of the meeting where members of the public can approach council, state their name and whether or not they are a Yardley Borough resident, and we ask that you please keep your comments to 3 minutes per topic. Any public comment this evening? Mr. Hoffelder.
Okay, congratulations for winning, but I'm still going to bring up from the tirade that went on October 21st from Councilman Applebaum. I'm responding to the personal attack by Councilman David Applebaum during the October 21st council meeting against me and Dr. Perlmutter. This diatribe was so outrageous it requires a response. The personal attack was orchestrated by Council President Thompson as part of her campaign of joy, where she pledged no personal attacks. However, she allowed this personal attack to be carried out by her proxies. If you watch the video of that meeting, you can see this was planned ahead of time, and the other council members were aware of what was going to be said. Well, maybe not all. Councilman Feiner appeared to be totally unaware of what was going to transpire. The mayor gave Councilman Feiner an alleged email from borough resident Jenny Lynn McVan to Councilman Feiner to read. You could see from the expression on his face, this was the first time he was saying this. In fact, he abruptly stopped reading the email, at which point Councilman Applebaum continued to read the email and then began a prolonged rant of his own inflammatory remarks against Dr. Perlmutter and myself. Councilman Applebaum accused me and Dr. Perlmutter of fomenting hate and inciting violence for my political campaign against Councilwoman Thompson. Councilman Applebaum began by stating he was attempting backdoor diplomacy to get me to remove my so-called hateful signs. In fact, on Friday, October 17th, I was parking to go to lunch with my friend at the Bonefish Grill on Oxford Valley Road. After I parked, I saw Councilman Applebaum was getting out of the car next to me in front of the Urgent Care for Pets Center. He saw me, had a very angry look on his face. He started screaming at me about my signs and told me there would be legal consequences if I did not remove them. My friend was terrified, and we both walked away from Applebaum and entered the restaurant. My friend was visibly upset. He asked me, "Did that guy just threaten you?" I said, "Yes, this is our Councilman David Applebaum." My friend had recently lost his wife and was visibly shaken. I spent our entire lunch trying to calm him down as Applebaum's behavior caused my friend to have a panic attack. I arrived home several hours later to find a folded up letter in my mailbox. The note stated much of the same language that Mr. Applebaum hurled at me several hours earlier. I guess this is only a coincidence and that Mr. Applebaum had nothing to do with this anonymous letter. 3 days later, on Monday, October 20th, a man stopped in front of my house that morning around 9:30 with a hat pulled down to hide his face. But from the beard and body, it was clear Inspector Clouseau was in fact Mr. Applebaum. He was counting the signs and writing something into a small notebook. I recently learned that mayoral candidate Zach Bark received an anonymous email telling him his campaign would be ruined if he did not disavow himself from my campaign. He was also told by former Council President Sue Taylor he should not associate himself with my campaign. For the record, Mr. Bark was not involved with my campaign. I simultaneously criticized Councilwoman Thompson while also supporting Mr. Bark. That's my constitutional right. If these signs are so horrible, why did Councilwoman Thompson pose in front of one of the signs with a big smile and then post it on her Instagram page? When I first put these signs out on Harvest Day, one of the first people who saw my signs was Councilman Jared Stump, who gave me the thumbs up.
I did not. I did not.
did.
No, I think your signs were ridiculous, and I'm
that's why
ashamed
you-
to be your neighbor. I did not give you a
I'm
thumbs. I did
reading.
not. I did not give you a thumbs up.
Okay, calm down.
Thumbs down from me.
Jared,
Let me talk, okay? You talk, I'm talking now.
Sure.
Right,
Just
but
don't
you
bring
have-
me into it and say I did something that I
Other
didn't
people
do.
saw it. Other people saw it.
Nobody else saw it because it didn't happen.
You have concluded your 3 minutes. Please please summarize your statement.
I have more to
and
say.
conclude. Okay, you have 3
You
minutes
went
per
on for
topic.
20 minutes. But
He's on council. You have 3 minutes.
You don't put a limit on anybody else.
I am asking you
I'm
to please
continuing.
summarize. I'm not cutting you
I
off.
can't summarize. I got 2 more pages. Anyway, if the signs are so horrible, why did you take a picture in front of one of the signs and you put it on your Facebook page or account, Instagram, whatever? There are many things in this borough people should be outraged about. Does Councilman Applebaum have any outrage about the political violence that occurred during the 2024 election campaign when at least 12 families in the borough had nails strewn in their driveways? One of the victims is your next-door neighbor, Mr. Applebaum.
Not my next-door neighbor.
Does Councilman Applebaum have any outrage over the fact that police chief failed to take these threats seriously and no proper investigation was conducted? Does Councilman Applebaum have any outrage over the anti-Semitic signs that one resident posted on his front lawn for over a year after the October 7th, 2023 attack against Israel? Does Councilman Applebaum have any outrage over the fact that the Hebrew Academy received threats after the October 7th attacks and the feds had to be contacted to get the threats taken seriously? Does Councilman Applebaum have any outrage over the fact there is selective code enforcement under Caroline Thompson's regime? The biggest example of this is the failure of the current mayor to get the proper permits for major renovations made to his house. Harb has filed numerous complaints against him and nothing was done. Does Councilman Applebaum have any outrage over the fact that a federal judge found Council President Caroline Thompson and Borough Manager Paula Johnson liable for violating the First Amendment rights of Earl Markey? In a normal borough or township that followed the law, the councilwoman would be voted out as council president and Manager Johnson would have been fired. However, cronyism is alive and well in Yardley because no action was taken against these defendants who gave the finger to the Constitution. Does Councilman Applebaum have any outrage over the fact the official minutes are being censored and are changed, do not reflect what is actually being said at a given meeting? A perfect example is that the October 21st minutes make no mention of the diatribe that Councilman Applebaum made against Dr. Perlmutter and myself. In fact, the person responsible for taking the minutes, Mary McLean, was not even present at the meeting or many of the other meetings, and in fact, I found out she's been fired. Does Councilman Applebaum have any outrage over the fact that the email from concerned citizen used to disparage Dr. Perlmutter and myself at the October 21st meeting has resulted in a new lawsuit being heard by the Pennsylvania Office of Open Records because the borough has refused to release all the records in a right to know request. The borough is currently paying the law firm of Clark, Gallagher, Barbero, Amuso, and Glassman thousands of dollars in legal fees to defend the borough in this lawsuit. The taxpayers are footing the bill because the campaign attempted to end my campaign. I could go on with many other examples, but I think I made my point. There's many things to be outraged about. The corruption in the borough is accepted as normal. None of you probably even think you're doing anything wrong. While Councilman Jared Stump officially stated the reason he wasn't running for re-election was that he wanted to spend more time with his family, he has told many of the neighbors on Breeze Drive he no longer wanted to deal with the corruption going on in council. Councilman Applebaum, you should be ashamed of your conduct at the October 21st meeting. Your fake outrage demonstrates you stand for nothing. What scares me the most about you is you appear to know nothing about the Constitution, nor do you care. Talk about my signs inciting violence or crying fire in a crowded theater only shows you to be uneducated. I have no respect for someone like you who lacks the principles that only goes whichever way the wind blows. Because you threatened me in front of other people, I have decided to file a police complaint against you with the Middletown Township Police Department. And Mr. Adjunct Professor, I am sending a letter to the university about your disgusting behavior with a link so they can watch how you personally attack borough residents. A university should be made aware of who's representing them as an employee. Finally, your threats to me during an election may have violated federal election laws. I'm currently looking into this matter. Finally, all council members should be ashamed for allowing this behavior at a public meeting. Any one of you could have stepped in and said this behavior is totally inappropriate and should stop. If the solicitor had been in attendance, I am certain he would not have allowed this personal attack against borough residents. Although I am not even certain of that, as Jared Stump recently stated to another resident, the solicitor told him a councilman could make an attack with malice against a resident and the resident would have no recourse because the councilman has qualified immunity. I think Councilman Stump is not paying attention to the decision recently made by a federal judge in Johnson and Thompson versus Markey. Your total allegiance to a political party is what one expects from an authoritarian country. Maybe you should all listen to what John Fetterman recently said. While I disagree with him on many matters, he seems to currently be the only decent Democrat in the country. He recently stated he puts country before party. For that, he is now being vilified by his own party. He must be doing something right. Thank you for listening.
Thank you for your comments, Mr. Hoffelder. Any other comments this evening?
Can I just make a very fast response? No,
You may respond.
going to be, excuse me, Raymond? Why are you leaving? I want to respond to you. Well, if Raymond was still here, I would say thank you for taking the time for writing that piece, I think you're entitled to do that. This is a free country, and that's what the Constitution does provide us. However, I would say most of those things, and all those allegations that were said against me are false. And I am shocked about it, and if anyone is outraged, I am, because I took this position, an unpaid position, not for power, not for money, not for even getting to, help pick bands for outdoor music events. No, I did it because I am here to support the residents of this town, and they deserve the 7 people and the mayor who dedicate themselves to doing that, and that is to make this town a great place to live. And I don't even know what else to say, except the characterization, that mischaracterization, is not me, and good luck. Thank you.
Thank you, Council.
I will respond as well, since there were false accusations made about me by name. Mr. Hoffelder also made false accusations against me during the October 21st meeting, so it's not surprised that we continue the trend. I did not give him the thumbs up on Harvest Day. I actually saw nobody on Harvest Day when I saw the signs. I just happened to see them as I was walking by because I live in that neighborhood. I made no comments to anyone on Brees Drive about the real reasons why I'm leaving council, because the only person I know who lives on Brees Drive is Mr. Applebaum. I don't know anybody else who lives on Brees Drive, so if we can't even get little details like that right, it kind of makes you wonder what else is true. Although I will say, I do want to spend more time with my family and less time being accosted by people in the community, so it's fair. That's a big reason why I'm not running for council. I think, though, the people of Yardley made it very clear who they want on their council during the election. You can look up the results, and I think they speak for themselves. So that's all I have to say.
Thank you, Councilperson Stump and Councilperson Applebaum, for your service to the borough. I would encourage anyone who would like to look into anything that was said in those statements to just go back and watch the meetings, to go to our Facebook pages to look at the official records. They do not agree with what was said. Any other public comment this evening? Hearing none, we'll close public comment and move on to consideration of the consent agenda dated December 2nd, 2025. Approval of minutes dated November 18th, 2025. Certificate of appropriateness 25-27, 81 South Main Street, Little Library. Banner permit for the Hanukkah Village from December 7th to 15th, 2025. Event permit for Hanukkah Village, December 14th, South Main and Buttonwood Park. I would ask that the minutes be removed and voted on separately. Are there any other requests to remove an item?
Take the words out of my mouth.
I would entertain a motion to approve B through D.
So moved.
Is there a second? Second. Motion was made by Councilperson Scherer, seconded by Councilperson Siegel Morris. Any discussion from council? Discussion from the public? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. I would entertain a motion to approve the minutes dated November 18th, 2025. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion was made by Councilperson Siegel Morris and seconded by Councilperson Scherer. Discussion from council.
I'd like to offer one slight correction
Sure.
and just okay. Just there's a slight delay, so if I pause, it's just to find out if you can hear me. It sounds like you can.
We
So,
can hear you.
there's
We can hear you now.
Perfect. There is an item for Judy's Garden that says Mr. Feiner made a motion to accept, EXCEPT, the donation of Dancer from Mr. Rutterow, which was seconded by Mr. Applebaum. I'm sure it's just a typo, but it's to accept, ACCEPT, not accept. And it's an important word in that context. So, and that has been finalized, but let's just get that word right.
Perfect. We can do that. Any other changes or comments from council?
Thank you.
Any comments or questions from the public? I'll call the question. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? I'll abstain. Motion carries 601. Next, you have the finance report dated December 2nd, 2025. Are there any issues, questions, comments? Otherwise, it will be accepted by consensus. All right. Chief Golden, Chief's report, please.
Thank you, Madam President. For the month of November, the Yardley Borough Police Department answered 751 calls for service. Of that 751, 335 of them were proactive police checks done by the department. We also issued 2 parking tickets. We conducted 161 traffic stops. Out of that 161, 96 citations were issued. We investigated 5 traffic accidents, 1 DUI arrest, and 3 other arrests. Those numbers being said, Madam President and members of council, the agency has really amped up their services and their proactive activity during these holiday months coming forward. A huge one with the traffic stops and the traffic, as we all know, we had gotten a few complaints of some people in town wanted some proactivity, so we had done so. We amped that up from 71 of last year in the same time frame to 161 this year. Also amped up from 51 citations being issued to 96 this year. So big increases, and I want to thank the agency as a whole and all the members within it for doing such a terrific job during these holiday months to make sure that the members of our community are safe and sound. With that, for the month of November, we also conducted a No Shave November, where members of our police force and our auxiliary police force were able to donate and have a little bit of a beard, goatees, whatever they chose. We had raised $250 that we would like to present to Councilwoman Siegel-Morris for Experience Yardley, is who we decided to send this to. So.
I'm going to miss Corporal Clark's goatee.
All right, I'll get you at the end of the meeting.
I also have 2 business items, if you may.
Absolutely.
So we are currently down. We have 2 vacancies within our agency. Myself, Manager Johnson, and Councilwoman Scherer. We're of the Public Safety Committee. We interviewed 2 applicants. The first one being Officer Jason Rudy, Prospective Officer Jason Rudy, and Prospective Officer Charles Geiger. They were satisfied with the candidate's knowledge, skills, background, and abilities. It is recommended to the council that we conditionally hire both Jason Rudy and Charles Geiger as a part-time Yardley Borough police officer. It is understood that this officer of employment is conditional upon the candidate passing all the required examinations and all other MOPEC eligibility requirements. I respectfully request council consider a motion for Yardley Borough to extend a conditional offer to hire both Jason Rudy and Charles Geiger as a part-time police officer pending certification from the Pennsylvania Municipal Police Officers Education and Training Commission.
Do I hear a motion to that effect?
Oh, gosh. You can have it. I'll second it.
Motion was made by Councilperson Scherer, seconded by Councilperson Applebaum. Any discussion from council? Discussion from the public? I'll call the question. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries.
Thank you very much, and that concludes my report.
Thank you, Chief Golden. Manager's report.
I wrote and submitted the LSA grant application for Borough Hall, so that's in and hopefully going to be reviewed in the next couple of years. I had a conversation with the Senator's office about the award of the LSA grants that we had previously submitted. They don't expect, November, they did not meet. They don't expect them to meet in December, so we're hoping they'll meet in January and we might hear something. But at this time, I feel it is time to apply for that roof loan because the roof is getting worse. The water's coming this way now. It's finding its route and now going into other areas. I worked with Corporal Clark on the final draft of the CBA for 2026. It's in the solicitor's office for review, and we anticipate being on the agenda for 12/16 for signing. The final leaf pickup is this Saturday, so please, on your Facebook pages, spread the word. This will be the last one. We are still accepting applications for the recording secretary, right-to-know assistant, who is not fired. She decided to resign sometime next year. So if anybody knows anybody for that, we're looking for applications. We did have an uptick on the right-to-knows. They've been quite extensive for the month of November, and it seems to be carrying on for December. Zoning, there was 8 applications being sent in and reviewed, 7 building permits. We had no zoning hearing boards in November, and we won't be having any in December as well. And that is my report. Also, one more thing. I'm going to be getting the advertisement ready for next year's meetings. 2 committees are actually changing and bumping up their meetings from 7:30 to 7 o'clock. So I don't know if council ever considered starting a little bit earlier, but it's something, if you guys want to discuss, let me know. But I will be advertising. The first meeting of 2026 will be the first Monday. So keep in mind, it'll be a Monday, not Tuesday.
So I would, thank you for all of that, Manager Johnson. I would like to ask for a consensus of council to see a draft application for that roof loan on our agenda for our final meeting in 2025.
Good.
Does that sound good to everyone?
That was just a consent.
Great, thank you. And Councilperson Applebaum, I think I heard you down there.
I was grunting. Manager Johnson, is there a job description for the open position?
Yeah, we have it posted, and
Okay.
I can send it to you.
Yeah, I thank Mary Ann for her good work, and I'm shocked that anyone thought that she was fired, because that's not true.
Yeah, and thank you, Manager Johnson, for stating that. So Mary Ann is a private person. She's a faithful employee of the borough. We very much appreciate her diligence and her work ethic. She put in her notice several months ago, I believe, and it is due to comments that have been made about her. She's an hourly employee. She doesn't do this for the money. She enjoys helping out the borough, and it's really a shame to lose her. She is, in my opinion, one of the finest that we've had in that role, certainly, and it's especially hard to find part-time workers of her caliber. So she will be missed.
Aye.
Any other questions or comments for Manager Johnson? Excellent. You have 2 items for consideration by council, so we can take those one at a time.
Yep. So the first one is changing the days of collection for 2026 for the trash collection. I had a meeting with Republic Services. They expressed a desire to move the dates of collection to Tuesday, Friday, eliminating Saturday. They feel Saturday service, if there's an issue, a miss or something, it takes until Monday to get rectified. They are also pulling back on some of their residential service for Saturday so that they can work on their bigger accounts down in Philly area. So since this is part of the contract, I wanted to bring it to council and ask for the consideration to change the trash days to Tuesday and Friday.
Do I hear a motion?
So I'll make the motion.
Okay, great. And is there a second? Motion was made by Councilperson Finer, seconded by Councilperson Scherer. Discussion? I personally love it. Friday's better.
Yeah. We used to do it this way, and I think that there was some concern when we went the other direction. We kind of follow whatever they want to do, but it's more likely people will be away on the weekend, and they have to arrange for their trash to be taken in after it's collected. This seems to be more practical, so I don't see why it wouldn't be a good idea. Plus, we've already done it, and it already worked, so makes sense.
It's a good change. Any other comments?
Yeah, I'd like to echo that and agree with that. As someone who goes away on the weekends, it's a challenge. And in my community, Yardley Walk, I did a poll on it just to make sure, see what people thought, and it's running 80-20 for it. So So most of the people, at least in my neighborhood, are supportive of the move.
Yeah, typically you have a party or a barbecue on a Friday, a Saturday, or a Sunday. And in this scenario, Saturday and Sunday, all that trash is sitting there for 4 days, animals picking at it and stuff. So this will ensure that, Tuesday is closer to a weekend party and, we have Friday pickup. I think it makes a lot more sense. And then we won't have I think we are one of the only haulers that's picking up in my neighborhood, at least on a Saturday. So it's, reduce the noise on the weekends.
Yeah, and one more thing I just want to add to that, just to be aware of is that there are some communities that do it once a week, and we've been asked if we want that, and I'm glad that we're not doing that, because that's when you get problems with rats and all those issues. And so, I think the main issue is you want to keep that frequency at twice a week.
Yes, I'm strongly in favor of the change as well. I've actually spoken with Manager Johnson about this about a year ago, and we felt that it would be a good change just because, for all the reasons above, but then in addition, when the public trash cans get filled up on Saturdays and Sundays at events in town, that trash then sits till Wednesday. And then if there's any, issues with the trash collection, there's been a couple times where they've had to come back, then it's Thursday, stuff's been sitting for a week. It can get pretty nasty. There have been multiple times where I've gone down with a big trash bag and cleaned it up myself. And this is a huge win, to move it to Tuesday. And I don't think it'll otherwise be a disruption. I'll just have to get in the habit of, putting my trash out on Monday night instead of right after council.
What will the effective date be? The very first pickup of the new year?
Yes.
Did we mention the mailer to the residents? Did we mention that as well?
Republic Services will do a mailer to all the residents so that they're aware as well. And then we're going to start email blasting everybody. We'll post it on our Facebook as well. We're putting it on the bills that will be sent to the residents the end of December as well. So everybody should be aware. And Patty made it in big and red, so hopefully everybody will see it when they look at their invoice.
We'll still have questions.
Yes, we will.
Excellent. Any questions on this from the public? Yes, please.
Okay there, Jason?
Jason Goldstein, I'm a borough resident. Just the one question, if there's a holiday, does it get pushed back to Wednesday or does it stay on Tuesday?
Depends on when that holiday is.
It's a Monday holiday.
Yeah, then it would get bumped to the next day, yeah. As it does now.
Manager Johnson, will we still be able to get the list of those holidays for the whole year for 2026 that we can put on the bills?
If
do
we
you
can
think we'll
fit
have
it on
them
the
that
bills,
soon?
if not, I'll throw it in the email blasts.
Okay, wonderful.
I just want to compliment you, Paula. Those emails have been received very well by the community. I've talked, obviously, I talked to a lot of people, and they feel like they know more, and so I applaud you for
Thank you.
doing that. And the team.
Agreed.
Yep, thank you. All right, I'll call the question on this one, voting to approve the change in trash days. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. Yes,
Sorry to interrupt. May we excuse Chief Golden? He has an appointment he has to get to.
sure. Thank you, Chief Golden.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor. You got it, sir.
So my next item is just housekeeping, Resolution 2513, which is setting the fees for trash collection for 2026. It'll be $480 per year per unit. So this is just something that we should be doing every year.
Is there a motion to approve? Is there a second?
Second.
Motion was made by Councilperson Carlson. I will give the second to Councilperson Stump. He hasn't had one tonight. Any discussion from council?
Yeah, I just want to make it clear, this is the result of the multi-year contract that we signed. And this rate increase is in line with the increase in the contract that we have to pay out. So
And it's a good price from what I've seen from people in other municipalities. Some people pay that much for once a week pickup, so.
My question, sorry, is I remember reading, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but are we looking to have a once-a-year collection of this amount?
So we are sending out one bill in January, and then you could pay it throughout the year, but you have to be aware of the bill. We're not going to send out reminders. I will do email blasts and
When you
mention.
say you, are you referring to me?
I'm looking at you, but I'm just answering you.
This seems
Yeah.
simple, but Manager Johnson, just share like rough ballpark estimate, how much we're spending on mailers. I mean, I don't know if anybody sent something in the mail recently. The postage is very expensive.
Postage is very expensive, and it keeps on going up, and the printing is expensive. It's just the envelopes, everything. So, and this will, we think, save some time for when we're getting those bills coming or checks coming in as well. So it's a huge savings time-wise and money-wise for us as well by doing the one. But we will send out reminders. We're still offering the discount if you pay for the full year in the 30 days. We're asking people to pay in the first quarter, but we're not going to give any late fees until later in the year. So if people don't pay by 10/31, come November 1st is when the late fees are going to start. So we're not penalizing anybody, but you're just going to have to be aware that this bill is out there and it is due. And there is many, many other municipalities that do once a year billing. So it's nothing new, nothing strange. It's new for us.
I think it's fantastic to streamline
So,
this. Sorry, Ori. It's fantastic that we're streamlining some of these processes, and I'm sure, of course, our motivation is money, but also I think it's convenient to pay once a year, so I applaud the idea.
Thank you.
I can say too, as somebody
Yeah, I
who.
just wanted to add
Go ahead, Ori.
Sorry.
You're good. Go ahead, Ori.
Councilperson Feiner go first because he's been trying and
Yeah, yeah.
it's hard for him to read the room here. So go ahead, Councilperson Feiner.
I'm in a different, I'm in a 5-second behind time zone here. But I think what's important to mention is that there is discussion about, that we had about thinking about, okay, so some of us are going to say, pay for it at once, save 3% or whatever the discount is. Other ones are on fixed income, or that's a lot of money for them, and they can pay over time. So, I think it's great to appeal to people and say, hey, if you can pay it, it helps the borough, helps everyone. You don't have to worry about it. Just pay it. And you'll get 3%, which is actually, coincidentally or not, about the rate of inflation. So you'll save 3% that you would have essentially paid extra by paying it over a year. So you might as well just pay it off. But if you can't, it accommodates those people as well, and it saves money. So, I think it's a win-win for everyone. And I echo what's been said already. It's great to streamline things and not make this expensive and complicated.
Here.
And Councilperson
Oh,
Stump.
all I was going to say was a little anticlimactic, but as somebody who has historically paid the trash bill in full at the end of the year, and this year I decided to do quarterly payments because I thought, it might help me cash flow a little bit better. It was not a good experience. I was forgetting to make the payments. I'm calling Patty, going, Patty, what's the late fee? What do I need to pay you now? Patty, did I pay this bill? Can you tell me? Can you look in the computer? And it's just so much easier to pay it the first year if you have the means to do so. But I also appreciate that, for people who are on fixed incomes, I have some family members that are on fixed incomes, so I know what that is like, being closely related to them. And so I appreciate that we have that option as well. Like, we're not looking to create a hardship for anybody. We're actually trying to be better stewards of people's tax dollars. So I applaud you guys for taking the initiative to do that.
The only other comment I'd like to make is that when we looked at the mailings and the cost of the mailings, we want to save 3 mailings. And between the paper and the time, and most importantly, the postage, it's over $5,100 savings.
Wow.
Of those 3 mailings. So.
We could get a texting service for that much money.
Excellent. We love it. $5,000. Okay. Any comments from the public on this one? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously.
That's it from me.
Thank you, Manager Johnson. Engineers report, please, Mr. Foley.
Thank you. We've issued our engineer's report. Should be included in your packet. Just want to give everybody an update regarding the North Main Street Phase 3 project. During the last workshop meeting, there was this, the additional test pit fee, and so our contractor was able to locate some additional unforeseen water mains. Since then, Manager Johnson and myself and our contractor, we've been coordinating with American Water. American Water is working on preparing the permits to get the water, let's say the house service, relocated. They actually cross North Main Street and connect to the main, not underneath our sidewalk, but across the street. There's 2 water mains in the street, and for some unforeseen reason, it crosses the street and connects to the other water main. So American Water is updating and going to be connecting those house mains to the water main that's underneath our sidewalk to avoid the conflict where we're putting our storm sewer in. So they hope to get the permit in tomorrow, but if not, the following day. And once they get that permit, they'll be mobilizing their contractor, Cata Construction, who's done other work for them within the borough, and that contractor has done work for the borough in the past as well. They'll get those water mains, water service laterals relocated. They'll be having to coordinate with those affected homeowners. And I spoke with Councilperson Finer earlier, and I'll reach out to the water company, get those addresses, and so that we can make them aware. But again, the water company will have to do their notifications to those residents too. Once that's done, and once we know the timing of the contractor getting that work done, we could then work on staging our contractor to mobilize and get their work. What we don't want to do is get our contractor in, and then they get ahead of themselves and get up to the water main relocations, and then they're paused for a little bit. So for now, we're just holding and getting the water mains relocated. And then I did ask for an updated schedule from our contractor, and I forwarded that over as well. Right now, they have about a 9-week schedule to perform their work, with the final mill and overlay to be determined based upon weather conditions as well. So we have a more up-to-date schedule that's just right now set at weeks with no specific start date, as we're waiting for this water main to be relocated. Okay.
So I'm
And
going to jump in and just say a few things, if I may, just to kind of add to Mr. Foley's report. First, thank you for the detail, and also Manager Johnson for the work you did on this. Nobody likes to light a fire under people's feet more than me when it comes to getting the sidewalk done. So, and I want to say I'm satisfied with what's happening here. And sometimes you run into these weird things. This is weird. You have 2 water mains, and the houses that are connected. These few houses are connected to the one that's further away, probably because the one closer was too small, or some weird thing happened in the past. And it's great that we found this out now. It would be much worse to find this out while it's under construction and hit an unexpected water line. So it's all good. It's going to delay us, but what I think the main thing is not terrible delay. I think the main thing now that's really important is that when these unanticipated things happen, is that we need to make sure that council and the public is informed every step of the way. So I would like us to keep, proactively informing the residents through email. We have all their emails. This is the situation. We're waiting on the permit for PennDOT. We've got the permit for PennDOT, and this is the construction schedule. We got the construction done, and this is the water line construction done. Got that done, and here's the construction schedule for the sidewalk. The other thing is that, and Mr. Foley and I discussed the possibility, and he's going to look into, Pat, you could say more about this if you want, but just perhaps the contractor can start work on other parts of the sidewalk while in conjunction American Water is moving those lines. So there's a bit of a kind of Tetris thing that can happen here. That's it for me. Thanks.
For all of that context, super helpful. Don, you have a question?
Yeah, I have a question for Pat. I'm surprised we didn't run into this on phase 2. You know, it's the same, so there were no
Me too.
breaches across the street on
Yeah.
that one. And it's all, is it because there wasn't a water main on 2 sides up there? Does it jog over or something?
I have to go back and look at that, but I was also looking at some older maps too. It's like, I think at one point, there was a 4-inch main underneath the sidewalk, and maybe they replaced that after the 8-inch was in. But I'm not, I was surprised that it cropped up, but where we heard about it is when Pico's contractors were going and moving that work, they came across it. And so they let our contractor be aware of it, and that's what we've went into that investigation mode so we could try to stem it as opposed to being a problem with somebody's, a few people's water service out of commission and needing to get American Water out quickly.
Another question is Pico's gas line relocation. Is that complete?
I'm going to follow up with Mr. Gabriel on that, on the Pico, but right now they've made their tie-ins and, with that work, and I'm just going to follow up to see if there's any last-minute items for that, so we can close that
A
up.
couple of plates. I thought I
Yeah.
noticed there's still a couple of plates.
Yeah.
on the, far north end.
I'll follow up with them and let.
You think it's connected in and it's running, the gas is running off of that?
Yeah, I think the mains were there, and then they were going to be tying the house connections over. So I'll follow up with our Pico contact on that.
Any other questions?
All right, that concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Foley. Solicitor's report, please, Mr. Griffin.
Yeah, just briefly. My office is in the process of updating our new orientation memos for the new council members that are coming on board. So once we get those updated, I'll reach out to Paula and hopefully schedule a sit-down with them before the new year. And that's it for my report.
Wonderful, thank you. Mayor's report.
No additional report this evening, thank you.
Thank you. Council member reports. Does anyone have a report this evening? I'll do it this way.
Yeah, shocker.
Okay, Councilperson Applebaum, we'll start down at that end of the table. Great.
Can I ask if Mr. Feiner could go first? I'm just.
Sure, Councilperson Finer.
Sure. And Judy's Garden came up again. Can you hear me okay? Because I'm getting a message that my connection is unstable.
I would turn your video off. I think it would help.
Okay. I'll turn it off momentarily, and you know what I look like, so that's good. Okay. Is that any better?
Yeah, you're not breaking up, so that's good.
Not breaking up. Okay. So the main thing there is that they are continuing to. I may have spoken too soon at the last meeting. They're still looking at Judy's Garden, trying to figure out how to sort of adapt it. We're talking minor tweaks, scaling it back. I think there was discussion about whether there was going to be the bench by the creek, and they first they had it, and they took it out, and then I reminded them, and this is important, that the land was given to council with a vision in mind, and we want to execute that vision. And you might hear something like, "Oh, well, residents were concerned there'd be a bench there," and I think we have to be careful. It reminds you of what happens with the chimney swift. We ran across this where we want to be we want to be respectful and considerate of neighbors' needs when there are things happening, but we also have to make sure that one person's idea that they don't want to see something out their window makes it unavailable for everyone in the borough. So we have to always just kind of strike a balance. In this case, there was going to be a house there that nobody wanted. And now we're getting a little garden with a beautiful sculpture and a couple of benches. So I think we need to, go ahead and finish that design and, execute that vision and do a nice job, and not get too reactive to there's going to be a bench somewhere. So anyway, let's see what planning commission comes up with, because they're considering all the factors, and then we'll take it from there.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Councilperson Applebaum?
Oh, yes, okay. I've got a piece together now. First, hi, testing. I thought you were giving me a second one because I talk so quietly. First of all, the Borough and the EAC have taken delivery of the Chimney Swift structure. I'd like to thank Stefan from the Pennsylvania Fish and Game Commission, who came all the way with a chimney swift on his roof and delivered it. And then with the assistance of Julie Passini, who is now the new chair of the EAC, which is Environmental Advisory Commission, Jarrett?
Thank you.
Wink. And Joe Jennings, of a resident of Lower Makefield, who is assisting us with getting it installed. And so I said they assembled it. Then Julie, actually, the next day, painted it. And so it's coming together, so to speak. There has been no date selected for the installation, only because now we're in December and we're not sure yet how that's going to fit with the concrete. And there's been a slight change in the design. Actually, it's to our benefit. Rather than having a, I think we said 3 by 3 by 4? Well, it's 48 cubic feet of concrete, which is a lot of concrete, and if anything changes and we want to take down the chimney swift or move it, that would be very difficult to remove. So Mr. Jennings had a brilliant idea, and Stefan agreed because it has been done before, and that is just to do concrete pylons. Just as sturdy, but a lot easier to deal with if we need to make a change or remove at any other time. So I just wanted to share that. Secondly, as I believe was mentioned, let me get to that page. HARB does have an opening. I am the liaison for them. And I won't read the whole thing, but if you are an interested person who has experience as an architect, a licensed real estate broker or agent, or a business owner who has experience with historical buildings, then we need you. And I also found out that we can accept applications. Please clarify, please, if I'm wrong, folks who are not living in Yardley Borough for this position. Is that correct?
That is correct. So we have to have a certain number of borough residents, and we have that number currently.
What is that number?
It's 4, right?
4, and we have 7 members currently before the person vacates. Correct. So I just wanted to bring that up, just in case the public didn't see the post. And finally, I have it on excellent authority that the holiday parade or Christmas parade will be beginning at, I just want to make sure I got this right, 3:30.
Excellent. We posed the question and answered it all within one meeting. It's really nice. I love that.
And that is all I have to report. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilperson Applebaum. Councilperson Carlson.
Yes. Just wanted to give you a little update. At our next meeting, we will be hopefully approving the 2026 budget. We set the preliminary budget that's out there using numbers basically generated from the end of September. And I just finished looking at October and November results, and I'm very confident that the budget is solid. We're probably going to have about 10 or so grand more income than I expected because the transfer number came in strong. We've already hit our number for the year, so whatever we get next week is going to be gravy. I think it'll be about 10 grand. And then a little over on the police side because of the part-time workers, more hours than we expected. But the plus and minuses are within a few grand. So when I report at the next meeting, it'll look like the budget is intact for what we projected back in October. That's all I have.
Excellent. That's good news. We'll take it. We picked up 5,000 there, 10,000 here. All right. Anybody else have a report this evening? Excellent. All right. We have a couple of discussion items this evening from Councilperson Finer. Yes.
Thank you. Can we get, for the AV, can we get pages, I'd love to just put these on the screen. Pages 42, 43, 44, and 45
Yeah.
is the, starting with the complete streets policy resolution. Can we get that up on the screen?
Yep. And then
And then I'll
Councilperson.
turn my video off so that.
Okay. Councilperson Shara just had a question. Go ahead.
I had a question. I was wondering why we were discussing this. It seems like it's a definitely Public Works item, and why we weren't waiting until it was Public Works time, like at the end of the month.
Oh, well, this is a normal council meeting, not a working session, so anything can be put on the agenda for this.
My intent is just to share this with you all and to put it up in the agenda for voting at the next meeting. But I wanted to kind of give people a chance to understand what it is, so it doesn't hit you by surprise and ask any questions. So is it, I can't see from my end if it's up, but
No worry, I
is
did
it up
not
on
know
the
you
screen?
wanted this posted, so we did not put
Oh,
it on a flash
okay.
drive.
It's in, oh, no, it's in the packet. It's just
I
page
understand
42
it's
in the packet.
but-
I thought that's.
Yeah.
Okay. If you can't do it, you can't do it. I just, in the past, I know that we've been able to just put things up there in the packet. No problem if not.
Well, if someone
so-
hands me a click share, I could just get it up,
Yeah,
or,
it's not a,
We all have it.
We have
I mean,
we have it on our
it's in your packets, so,
I can read.
okay, fair enough.
okay. All right. So I just wanted to, let me just give you a few moments of just introduction of what this is. It's really two resolutions. They're kind of like siblings of each other. So, it's Complete Streets is one resolution and Vision Zero is the other one. And the way Complete Streets works, the idea behind it is that essentially says that when we conduct any planning or discussion around a street or sidewalk, that we consciously consider all the users of that street. So whether they're driving, walking, biking, kids, seniors, people with disabilities, parents and strollers, the idea is that everybody is considered, all the users of that street are considered, so that everybody can make good use of it and arrive to where they're going safely. I want to point out that the way that these draft resolutions are written, they don't commit us to any new spending. It just sets the policy and to be aligned with other communities that have already done this. Now, for Vision Zero, it's a similar idea, except Vision Zero, the main point of it says that even one traffic death or serious injury in Yardley is too many. And I'm sure that we can all agree with that. And it commits us to working towards eliminating things that may cause severe crashes with severe injuries or deaths through, again, our consideration of the design of the streets. So an example is thinking about a crosswalk and what can we do to make it safer to avoid the possibility or reduce the possibility of somebody being killed or injured. So again, this isn't a policy commitment. There's no mandated funds. There's no schedule. It's really putting into place that it's a policy to have the mindset around doing this. Now, why would I like to do this, and why would we like to do this? Other towns are doing this. There are boroughs all over Pennsylvania that have done this. We have lifted language from those boroughs, whether it's complete streets. That's a little bit more common, but more and more are doing both together. Vision Zero, Media Borough just adopted one, and their county actually already did like a sort of a county-wide one. But one of the advantages, and then the Delaware Valley Regional Planning Commission, they have a Vision Zero program, and so cities have also jumped on it. And I will point out that when the larger communities like cities with larger budgets tend to do these things, They also tend to have more financial commitments and timeline commitments. And I intentionally put this together in a way that avoids those types of commitments so that we really just focus on policy and we make sure it's part of the conversation because we know how tough it is to raise funding. And and I don't think that we're in a place where we can so for example, you might see a place say, well, by 2040, we're going to have 0 deaths on our streets. I don't think that is quite going to work for Yardley Borough, but I think having it be in our consciousness that it's something that we aim for is a good practice. And the other point I want to make that's really important is that there are federal programs and there are state programs that when you have these policies in place, they assist you in getting money and they can be mentioned in any grant application. And so this way you can reference that, yes, we are a community that is trying to execute this idea that the streets are for all users and that we are working to eliminate the risks of death and serious injury on our streets and roads. So it's helpful from that front as well. And then resolutions are there. And I think like a councilperson Sher said, you can read, so they're there. And any discussion or questions?
Yeah, oh, go ahead. Oh, I was just gonna say that I love these. I feel like it's do no harm policy. Government can do a lot of things, and these are things that a lot of people can get behind. I think we've had a lot of comments that we need council to align that walkability is priority, or where are we going with this? And it's reminding me back to Reading Avenue when the community was really upset that we were going to sell it. I wasn't on council at that time. And we didn't know how we were going to save it, but we passed a resolution saying it's our intent that we're not going to develop it. And we haven't figured out the legality of that yet, but council is aligned that we want to move in that direction. And I feel like these are just really good documents stating that pedestrian safety is important to us. We've shown it's important through a lot of actions that we've made as a council, but formalizing that as part of our book of resolutions is a great thing. And again, it's a do no harm policy. It's something we can feel good about, and I hope the community could feel good about as well. So thank you, Councilperson Feiner.
I'd like to comment.
Thanks for the comment, and I'll add also that this would feed right into our comprehensive plan. So this would just kind of goes along with like you said, President Thompson, that all of the things we've been doing are in line with this, and the comprehensive plan is in line with this. But this is sort of like an umbrella where all those things fall under it.
Councilperson Carlson?
You kind of stole my thunder, but I look at that, I'm in favor of this. But the Ori I know would sit here and say, why do we have to do a resolution? And can't we just do this by policy? I would argue that why not make it its own subchapter, very highlighted in the comprehensive plan? And then whenever we do a grant application, you reference, I know we have to do the new comprehensive plan, of course, that it's in there. And so that's the overriding document that we have, because I worry that we approve these two, fast forward 4 years from now, will we even know where they are? They won't be in a place that we all can reference. So why not take this and incorporate it into the comprehensive plan, and then reference from there?
And Ori, I'm laughing not to just fun at you, but because I feel a little sentimental. We've been together as a council for so long now that Don can finish your sentences for you. So that's really nice.
Yeah, it's like, what would you do? The other people know what you would do better than you yourself would know. But I did mention it, and I think that I think it would work out if we were to pass this resolution. What would happen is when the comprehensive plan is worked out, these resolutions would be referenced in the comprehensive plan. So it kind of, maybe it's a chicken or egg thing, but I think we put that in the books now, then 2026, that just, is another thing that's incorporated in the plan. It's not either or, I guess is what I'm saying.
Understood.
I just wanted to add, so, Ori, one thing you didn't mention is that I was there with you when it was presented to the Planning Commission, which has a big part of doing the comprehensive plan. And though I don't think there was a final consensus on it, but it seemed that everyone was in agreement, and I don't think anyone could argue against safer roads and trying to prevent accidents or deaths. So thank you for taking the time to do this.
Yeah, I will bring up one thing that I think is interesting, that meeting. So there happened to be the development, the group for Yardley Inn at that meeting.
That's right.
Where a copy of this was given to the Planning Commission. And there happened to be discussion of valet parking and how do the people from the valet go back and forth. And it sort of was like, oh, well, they'll like somehow maybe skip through the parking lots because there's no sidewalk. And it was very interesting because suddenly this document became, even though it's not a resolution yet, the idea of it became an example of how, oh, well, let's consider, okay, people will drive here, they'll park here, pedestrians can walk this way. Oh, they won't walk to the valet lots because they'll be dropped off at the restaurant. But then how will the valet walkers get from the parking lot to the restaurant without dodging traffic? And just the fact that the question was raised and was in a conversation, and that led to sight lines. That's the purpose of this. It forces the conversation to happen and not to be something that's left to the side until you've already done the planning and the fundraising and the construction, and then, we forgot to figure out how people cross the street.
Yes, I actually thank you for bringing that up because you're right. Even though we have not agreed to this, it was very useful during that. It was fortuitous, frankly, that we had it available and to share it with the Planning Commission and the people from Yardley Inn because, as you point out, the sight lines became a big focus after I brought up the question about the sight lines and how to deal with that, and in combination with these resolutions that you brought up. It was a very thoughtful conversation, and I think that's what that's what I enjoy about council, and I enjoy about these committees and commissions, is that there's a lot of good that's been coming out of the work that, and I do want to thank those who are moving on for all your work and how much you've put in and how much we've accomplished over time. I know I'm getting a little sentimental too, Caroline, but
We have one more meeting.
yeah, we have one more meeting, so we can cry at that one, but get prepared. I think I'm just so proud of everyone, and thank you so much for those that are leaving. I appreciate you.
Thank you. Councilperson Scherer.
Yes.
I think it's an Andrew question.
On a different page, I'm just, you know me, I'm just very honest, and I
Want
have
me
to
to
say,
finish
I have
what
to
you're
have my
saying?
thought, no. So anyway, I read it, I read the whole thing, and it's interesting reading, but when I read it, it just looks like it's one of those transparency things that we have to put on paper, how we think and why we think, and it's kind of insulting sometimes, because we're all very bright people, we're not geniuses, I know I'm not, but we're all smart people, and we all care about this community, and I think most of what I read would be something that I think between the seven of us, we would come up with that. So I'm just not so sure what putting it down and where, like Don said, when you're working on a project, where is this ever going to come out again, where we're going to say, oh, we wrote that down 10 years ago, and we should be following that. So I don't know, that's all.
Can I answer your question?
Sure.
So one place is like what we just mentioned, it came up in that meeting. And amazingly, the developers were also interested in solving this issue because they don't want to create a problem
Right.
because something wasn't considered. We may have different views of how to resolve a problem, but we can always all agree that there was a problem that wouldn't have come up. And the second area is every single grant application would be pointing to this. And this is something that we would have that would be
Well,
kind of moving us above any other community that did not have this
but
resolution.
you can put that
So when you
in a grant application. But I was reading everything and I agreed with it all, but I don't think like, you know, if we decide to put in a sidewalk or a crosswalk or anything that, like, why wouldn't we consider that it would be safe for people in a wheelchair, people with
No, but we're
walkers
making
and
the statement.
all that?
Right. But a lot of resolutions are resolutions that we create as a policy statement, that we put something in writing and we align our council and future councils in that direction. And when we point to that in the grant application, the people who review those applications understand that we are executing a goal that is in line with the general direction that the state government and PennDOT and many states are moving in this direction. So we're moving forward, getting ahead in that conversation, and we have an opportunity. Eventually, every borough and city and township is going to have something like this on the books. But right now, you know, we're in the process where that's happening, and we're trying to get ahead of it instead of being behind it. And so I agree with you and what Don said in that. Why do we even have to put it down? But you know, that's sometimes the way the world works. And I do think it's helpful because what if none of us seven are up here and seven new people are here and they can look to this, and then you have a comprehensive plan that hopefully they've read that points to this. You know, I think that's important to have that written down as the intention of this council towards future councils.
And we can actually include it as an attachment on grants. Like, we passed this resolution on council formally versus just putting a sentence in an application that anyone can do. And I think, you know, we're not solving world hunger here. This resolution will not ensure that no pedestrians die. We have to do the work. Just like, you know, before Juneteenth was a federal holiday, we passed a resolution recognizing it in Yardley Borough. It's important, I think, to do things that we believe in, even though we think, yeah, everybody should recognize Juneteenth, but they don't. And maybe there is a future council that wouldn't know that this was a priority. So I hear differing opinions and like, why do we need to formalize this? But I also can see the benefit of it as well.
May I just summarize, continue just very briefly?
Sure.
From what my remarks were about streamlining and process, which is different than the legal aspect of, you know, whether we're going to have this resolution or not. And that is, I'll bring up some Talmudic law here. No, I'm just kidding. But there's a reason why things are, you know, we're able to have a change in, that's why we're here. We're making positive changes. That's what I said. I said we, as a council, this last term have made significant improvements. And Paula and the processes that you've added have made significant improvement. So this is another process, a process where we recognize that we probably should have things in our books, whether it's an ordinance or a resolution or whatever, that reminds us of why, you know, or what we are aiming towards. And in this case, we're aiming towards public safety. But in general, I like being able to refer to something, and that's just my opinion, but I'll stop there. Thank you.
So Councilperson Finer is accepting feedback on these prior to our next meeting when we anticipate voting on them. So if you have feedback, obviously, feedback can also be not voting for it if you don't want to vote for it, but you can provide feedback. Yes,
Can I
Councilperson.
point out one thing? Yes, sorry, just because it's a good point you made, David, about ordinance versus resolution. So this is a resolution, which means this doesn't cost us anything. We're basically, if we pass it, we pass it. It doesn't have to be advertised, and we don't have the expense and the legal ramifications that require a lot of solicitor work that you have with an ordinance. So, like as far as cost benefit, I see a lot of benefit here. I don't really see any cost at any level to the taxpayer or to the council in any way.
But you billed us for this, right,
I was
Councilperson
just going
Finer?
to say, he's sitting right next to me.
All right.
You should see a look on his face.
The delay is ruining all my jokes tonight. All right, I think we,
With pleasure.
I think we are good. Does anyone have anything else for this meeting?
I'll just say that, and I know the next meeting is going to be the budget meeting, but we will be interviewing applicants for HARB. If we get any, we have one application in so far, so we'll be interviewing them at the next meeting. So just to prepare people for that.
Council will be interviewing them?
Yes, and I promise we will not go till 1 o'clock in the morning like we did for the police committee.
Or dinner.
As long as you bring me some, yeah.
Well, there's only one, so. All right, folks, I would entertain a motion to adjourn unless, do you folks have anything you'd like to say, just came to observe? Awesome, welcome.
Can we just introduce them?
It's a fun meeting.
After the meeting, we can, sure. I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion was made and seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned at
Aye.
8:46.